Hi there. Welcome to Lincoln Table, you naughty little imps.
Pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side. They actually changed that, you know.
What, Pass the Dutchie?
Pass the Dutchie, yeah. It's,
To what now?
no, I'll have to Google it, mate. I should come up with this information before I come on.
Pass the vaporised pen that's a lot better than cigarettes to the left-hand side.
The Dutchie means something else. It was like
anymore.
It was like the reefer, basically. the other word that they were going to use, and they had to change it to Dutchie.
Some of these songs that they're changing now.
I know. Well, heck,
mate.
Yeah.
You're knocking it down.
Did you know as well what Golden Brown was about? The song by
That
Stones.
heroin, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And Brown Sugar by the Stones.
Well,
Yeah.
one slightly less potent than heroin.
Yeah, it's Proper Job.
Proper Job from
Job.
It's a Cornish IPA.
Cornwall.
From where?
Cornwall.
Yeah, what's it? Where's it brewed? We don't know. We're drinking it.
St.
It's all right,
Austell's.
St. Austell's.
Yeah.
I'll put it up. I'll put it up on my
Yeah.
on our YouTube channel and Instagram.
It's actually...
It's all right, isn't it? Tasty.
It's, I don't know, quite sweet.
It's got to be better than Frosty Jacks or something like that. White Lightning.
Yeah. White Lightning.
bring a bottle of that in next week.
Proper Alkies beer. Park bench beer.
It's like
you know things are bad when you start drinking that.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I think that's what we started drinking anyway in the first place.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid, and I think the first drink I ever had was probably White Lightning.
It's always cider.
Yeah. 3 litres of White Lightning and a 10 bit of resin. That was the weekend sorted. But yeah,
1 pint and I was sick everywhere, mate. I was terrible. I just could not take drink. It took me a few years to acclimatise to it. Alcohol.
I still can't. I still have 8 pints and I can only handle 3.
That's about right.
Luckily, I'm not one of these stupid violent types.
Right.
I'm pretty. I'm either sick or asleep.
No.
There's no in between.
I just an annoying drunk, mate. I just end up making a tit of myself when I'm talking shit like I'm talking now.
I've been out with you in town. You've been jiu-jitsuing some lad down the high street that we've been out with.
Oh yeah, we have, yeah. That was funny.
Doing some grapples on Lincoln High Street in the rain.
I remember that, yeah.
Good
dear. Yeah, they were the days, mate. Quite a long time ago now.
Yeah. It brings up memories of being a kid, like in the good old days.
It does, definitely.
I suppose every generation says the good old days, but what the kids going to say now from, when they were like 15, 16 and 2020? They're not going to say the good old days, are they?
Well, they're not.
Back in the good old days when Little Pump and whoever else is in the charts number.
Do you know what? Talking about, funny you should bring music up the other day. I mean, I've been having a bit of reflection back on the 80s, and you listen to some of the music that was out there. It still resonates now, and I can't think of an artist. I mean, it all sounds so much the same, so monotone, and I mean, it's like Lewis Capaldi, fuck off. What's the other one? George Ezra, fuck off.
Oh, pretty similar, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all pretty similar. Sam Smith, he can go and bollocks, crying his eyes out.
And to be honest with you, these are probably 3 of the better ones out there.
Yeah.
Out of a bad bunch.
But I'm just like, is anybody going to be listening to them in 20 years' time or 30 years' time? No.
It might come to a bit of a surprise, but I mean, another mate of mine, Jagger, last year, I don't know when it was before this COVID crap, we went to watch Slipknot live.
I remember you telling me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I was listening to them when I was a kid. They were in my era. They were big when I was a kid, and that's the sort of thing I listened to. And it was just like, they were in England for, they're not here very often, and we were like, we're just going to go. We got front row standing tickets right in the mosh pit on a school night. Amazing.
You see, when I was growing up, I got introduced to a great variety of music with sort of. I mean, I was born 1972, and I can only vaguely remember the end of the 70s, but I do remember the music.
Yeah.
And the punk scene was still on the go. And I remember the Sex Pistols, I remember the Jam, Specials, all them, and they were great. It was just so different. I remember seeing these people, these punks walking down the high street, mods, in the green jackets, on the scooters, and it was just like a whole revolution. And then,
did you ever go at it?
No, I was a little bit too young, mate. I had the odd badge with the Who on. Everybody had them pin badges, them little button badges, and then the 80s came, and what they called new wave, which was sort of came the spunk.
The spunk.
The spunk.
Well, where are you going here?
How many of these I had? I can't believe I've just come out with that.
That was a different time in your childhood.
What I meant to say was the punk generation spawned that new wave.
Yeah.
The New Romantics, which was obviously Duran Duran, Spandau Ballet, you've got Culture Club, and I could go on all day of all these different bands. And you look at that, I mean, it got slightly a bit poppy towards the end of the 80s with Bros.
But I feel like that's what every generation does, though.
Yeah.
You listen, like me personally, I'm stuck in like the end of the 90s, early 2000s loop. All the music I listened to is like from when I was a kid, really. I think that's when music really hits you and resonates with you.
But there were some great bands in the early 2000s. I mean, I like Snow Patrol, Kaiser Chiefs. I mean, they're kind of
Arctic
a punk
Monkeys,
band.
They're not punk, but
they've got something, but
I loved them when they first came out.
Definitely.
I think they went off and took too much acid in the end, but they went a bit hippie, didn't they?
But from my parents, obviously, they were influenced by music in the 60s, and that's rubbed off on me because I like the Doors, I like the Beatles, Fleetwood Mac, that music is still playing on the radio today. You can turn a radio station on. This shit that's out now, sorry.
I can't imagine hearing most, like 90%. There's some artists that will break through, I reckon.
Ed Sheeran, he's not bad.
Yeah.
He's
not a culture vulture, though. He does jump on most cultural.
Bandwagon,
yeah. But I'm the same, though. Like, my mum was, she was massively into Motown, stuff like that,
That's good, mate.
Yeah, which I'd listen to now. I don't know many artists, but, I definitely wouldn't turn it over if a bit. But, I'm pretty diverse in what I listen to anyway.
Yeah. And you've got to be, mate. You've got to be. And I think music should resonate with people. And good music that's got a narrative as well to it, like a story. I mean, there's a good song by The Jam, Down in a Tube Station at Midnight.
Yeah.
And he's telling a story of trying to get out home, and he's, it's a normal night out, and he's gone and got a takeaway, and he's waiting to catch a tube. He's had a few, and then he gets into an argument with some lads, and and that's what resonates with people.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's too many people whinging now about the love life on in these songs.
Oh God!
I mean, I like
Nobody
Adele,
cares.
Fantastic voice, but come on, get over it. She's made about 4 albums.
You broke up with you, leave him.
Yeah, just forget it, move on.
But like the point I was getting to was...
Sorry, mate, I've gone off on a tangent.
The point I was
again.
getting to is about being a kid and enjoying them moments, enjoying these gigs. Like, we've spoke a lot on this podcast about, the last couple of podcasts, about, how COVID's affected us and all this furlough and all, people losing their jobs and all that. But we don't not really touched on, like, the youth, really. Like, because I feel like they, like we're just talking now. I've got stories of 15 to 18 of just going to gigs like every other weekend, going to live gigs and just smashing the hell out of it, getting too levered, having a great time, making memories that are going to last forever. I've got little snippets of memories from going to these gigs that, they were nothing really in the way of life, but I'll remember them forever, Like, and I feel like this couple of years this is going, it doesn't seem like a lot to an adult because life goes so quick. But from the age of 14 to 18, it's a small chunk of life, but it's massive, I think, in the way of memories and the way of
it is
doing things. Not that it can be changed because it's happening, but I just think you've got to appreciate it. You know, you could easily say that the youth have got it really easy, but you also got to appreciate how hard it must be as well at the minute. You know what I mean?
They've got it hard at the minute because I mean, I don't know what the new rules are again. They keep changing every week, but
it's easy just not to fucking go out.
I know, but you know, they can't socialise with each other. The only way they're doing it is on social media.
Yeah,
and they're not actually seeing what they're not actually. They're just taking the word for what somebody's put on social media, and I mean, families aren't going out for days out because of what's available at the minute, which isn't a lot.
Yeah,
you know, and it is hard, and I feel sorry for it where it was exam year for a lot of these that they couldn't do their exams and they've just been giving it on assessment.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Which is wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, when I was at school, any opportunity to get out of something, whatever arose, we was out of it, gone. You know, so at the moment now, if it was like someone at school's got COVID, someone's lost their sense of taste, and the whole school's getting shut down, you know, we would have jumped on it massively. Well, I say we would, but I don't know. I don't know how we would have dealt with it because we were just so. It was like free, really. You know, we could do whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted. Yeah. We could go out wherever we wanted, meet mates. You know, there was no fear of anything. Which, hopefully, all this will change. And
I hope it does. You know, it's going to have an. I mean, what I see a lot with the young generation, I don't know whether. I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and say this because my parents would probably said the same about me, being sat in front of a TV watching countless movies on a Saturday that I'd hide from the co-op video store, you know, watching video nasties that I shouldn't have been watching at a young age. And it's easy to judge, and do we think we've changed now?
Was that during the Spunk era?
The Spunk era,
that was a lot better era to touch on. Definitely. I used to love touching on the Spunk era. Area.
Yeah. I think we'll cut that bit out. We might be watching.
Hey, talking about that, you know, this is another thing as well with kids, like, you know, like things like porn and that's so accessible, isn't it? You know, like when we was a kid, you know, like one bloke's dodgy dad might have had a couple of dodgy porn videos under his bed, or porn mags that you could get hold of. That was about it.
There was a lad at our school, I don't know how, he probably stole his dad's, and he used to sell them for 50 pence each.
I bet you couldn't bend them though, could you? I bet they were rock solid. They'd been passed through that many kids.
Or it was always somebody's dad who had a porn stash. And I remember going round a mate's house years ago, and I'm not going to mention any names, but we went round and his dad had a stash in it, and this was when I skived off school one day, and we went round and he says, do you want to have a look at my dad's monkey videos? I was like, yeah, go on.
Definitely.
Stick one on. And we went in the wardrobe, pulled it out. And
the magazine?
It didn't start, no, not the magazine. This was a video.
I was going to say you pulled what out? Yeah, the video.
Yeah, the video. Anyway, he started it, and it was at a certain point where obviously he'd been watching it, and he says, I'll wind it back to the beginning, but he says, just remember where we got to that point, because just in case, I don't want him to get suspicious that we've been watching this.
Oh, God. I'll tell you a funny one. I'll probably get... The wife will probably shout at me at this one. But I remember getting a little bit older, and my mum bought like a house computer. Everyone had a house computer, didn't they, when they first started coming out? It was just one for the house. You know, no one had laptops or phones or anything like that. So... with this house computer, I remember coming in one day. I don't know, my mum was sat there with somebody, a friend, or I don't know at the time. And I remember coming walked in the house, and it was in the living room, this computer. And she said, "Can you just sit down a minute?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck's sake, what have I done now?" She's caught me doing something. She's found something. Anyway, she put the cursor onto the, you know, like on the Windows computers, there's icons in there. Like apps sort of thing. I'm useless with computers, as you know, Mark. Same with you.
Yeah, exactly. I know where you're coming from with that one.
So anyway, she clicked on this icon, and this video popped up. Just some bloke banging away at this young girl, at this girl. And she went, "What is this?" And I was like, what do you mean? She said it was saved to the computer on the main apps. She said, you know the job I'm working in, you can't have this sort of stuff on my computer. I was like, I was just like so embarrassed, you know. And the title's even worse. It was something like 18-year-old XXX gets stuffed in the arse or something ridiculous. You know, it was just like the worst porn title ever. I was just like, oh my God. She was like, you can't go on stuff like this. I was like, I didn't even know. I must have just clicked on it and then downloaded it to the blue computer or something.
Well, I'm going back into my college years, and one of my mates lent me this video, right? It was 3 hours long, full of porn, right? Everybody knows this story I've spoken to, so I don't mind speaking about it, to be fair. And anyway, I gets it home, and the only video recorder we had was in the lounge, and I thought, my mum's out, great, I'll stick it on. I've got both remote controls like that just in case she walks in, right, so I could just turn it off quickly. So I'm sat there and watching it, and as you can gather, there's this arse bouncing up and down on the screen, and all of a sudden the doors go, right, I could hear it, it's my mum. All I heard was, Mark, where are you?
What do I do? Put that away or that away?
I panicked, I pressed the fast forward button. She walked in the lounge, I'm sat there, mouth open, like not knowing what to say. And all you can see is fast forward this arse going up and down on the screen like that, bouncing down, bouncing up and down on this sausage. And she's just stood there, and she's like, she turned out the corner of her eye. What's this you're watching?
Emmerdale, Mum. Emmerdale.
Sex education video.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're a bit past that now, aren't you? No, you're never too old to learn. And she sat there and she was like, where did you get this from? The first thing I did, I grassed my mate up.
Straight away,
yeah. So when my mate came round 2 days later, she was stood at the door waiting for him, and she handed him, she says, I think this belongs to you. I do not want this in my house.
His face dropped, did it? Poor
he was
boy.
like, you grassing bastard, I can't believe you grassed me up.
You're not getting anything off me again. But yeah, it can't be good for kids' brains now, can it? Because you imagine all the kids now that's all they live off, the internet. Like you say, like they're not going out or anything. So the internet is like the world at the moment, because
well, that's it. That's the only way they can get connected to the world.
Must be some well-educated young boys out there, surely. 24/7.
Oh dear, I don't know. It's when you look back at it's the stuff. But has it changed?
I don't know.
I
think every generation says the same thing, though. Like the people like before me, they must have said, "Oh, our generation doesn't do anything we used to do." Or...
Talking of the sort of porn generation, back at my age, it was quite taboo. Everybody kept their dirty magazines in a cupboard, or whereas now, like, people are just quite open about going on. You know what it's like. You see it. Well, you've seen this.
Yeah, numerous WhatsApp groups and random crap coming through.
And now, nobody seems bothered. Everybody's quite open about it. And I mean, it was like when I remember one of my first summer jobs I had. It was gardening at a local caravan site where I lived, and there was about 4 or 5 different workmen on there with different roles, and I was a 13-year-old boy, and went in the tea hut for the first time, and literally, mate, it was wall to wall. I mean, you wouldn't get away with it now. Wall to wall, it was just porn, and then there was just like a pile of.
Even when I first started work, there was most suppliers had some sort of porn mag on the wall.
Now it's just like, which I understand, because I do get it, and.
Yeah, I think there's been a bit of a shift out of being the man's world, hasn't there?
Yeah,
you go into supplies more than just mucky men going there, don't they? But come on,
we're only red-blooded.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, it's just the PC patrol out again.
It is again. It's
yeah. I don't know. I just hope all this stuff isn't affecting kids, you know, their childhood and their memories and stuff. And like, I still hope that they grow up, and I hope there will be a bit of a shift in all this internet crap. So that the generation before, you know, I don't want my daughter just growing up, just revolving around the internet. But I don't. Whether is that a case of how they're getting brought up, or the case that the internet is there and it's just it's overpowering. There's no escaping it.
But if they could probably reflect on this, like, possibly, I'm not saying my parents were, my mum, she was born just after the war, and my uncles were, my uncle, he was born in the early, and my dad was born just before it started, and he was growing up.
Yeah.
And obviously they had the difficult times, but with all what was going on, I mean, they didn't know whether they had the air raid sirens going on, but I suppose kids will reflect on this, of what they did with their time when this was going on.
Because you do, because like you say, you do. It kind of has. You always see like atrocities, like wars and stuff, and the generations growing up within them, they always seem to be really resilient, don't they? Like they grow up and look at grandparents at 80, 90 years old that are just living great. You know what I mean? So, even been through all that.
Well, I remember when Argentina invaded Falklands.
Yeah.
I went round at a friend's house and we decided to build a bomb shelter in the garden. Well, we dug a hole in the ground.
Why not?
Much to the disgust of his mother. You know, we wrecked the garden.
Yeah.
But
that's what it's about, being a kid.
It was, but like everybody was like on edge. You know, we've gone to war. We haven't had a war, and it was all like what was going to happen. And you know, no wars are great, are they?
No wars, no.
You know, but when you reflect back on them times, it's like,
it's kind of fun in a weird way, especially as a kid. Yeah,
you think, well, what was all that about when I was, you know?
I do. I hope this. I hope it brings some sort of resilience to kids. Like I do hope at the end of all this, because I suppose it will. You know, stuff like this will come and go anyway. Yeah. It's just going to be a part of life now as societies get bigger. But I just hope that the kids now are taking something big from it, so that in the future, you know, these kids are going to be running this world, and they'll be like us. You know, they'll be a big part of society. But I just hope that they bring something else to the table, something different to what's going on now, and maybe a bit of knowledge and.
Oh, definitely.
Reflect back on it as not as all doom and gloom, like my childhood's ruined. You know, hope it's a good thing for them. You know, it's not a good thing now, but there's going to be a lot of kids now that are growing up that their education is a bit messed up. You know.
Well, I hope doing this came out of what's been going on, and
exactly.
I hope next year me and you were sat here and thinking, well, what the fuck was last year all about?
I know. Yeah, hopefully. I think everyone's thinking that now, aren't they?
They are, mate. It's.
I just can't imagine. Can you imagine now being 14 to 16 years old with this going on? How you would have, coped with it? Do you think you would have? How do you think life would have been? I suppose you just have to roll with the times, don't you? You just have to roll with what's going on. Yeah.
I think I'd have drove my mum mad.
Yeah, definitely. I
know. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one to reflect back on, really. I mean, I left school when I was 15 because of the way my birthday fell. Yeah, it should have been 16, but obviously, hopefully, I'd have been working. But then would I have gone to college? You know, because I started college at the time, so it's. I don't know. It's trying to put yourself in younger generation shoes, but there again, from what I've seen from where I live, which is a good thing to see, I've seen them all out on bikes, playing. I've seen them play football.
It's where you'd like to think that the parents are stepping up, wouldn't you, and not putting that pressure of the bad things that are going on onto the kids. Like, it's nothing to the kids really, as long as they just follow what the parents are saying. You know, if you go in there, you need to put a mask on, whatever you need to do as a kid. I don't know. You might have different rules. You might be allowed 7 people when you're a kid. I don't know. God knows. But hopefully it's down to parenting,
But
really. Isn't it?
the thing, I don't know what it's like in schools at the minute. I don't know, and they just seem to be segregating a lot of kids at school, and I think they're going to use. They need that social contact,
Yeah, definitely.
with each other, and
Yeah.
when everybody's like possibly got the lurgy, as you whatever you'd call it, kung flu lurgy,
The China.
COVID 1984 or whatever it is, numerous names that people have used for it. I just obviously they're losing that social contact at school, and they need that. And there's a family that live next door to us, and they've got one child, and obviously he's got no siblings, and I just think, how's he coping? How's it? Because some parents are still very protective, still obviously with the infection rates rising again, and how isolated, like just.
Does the child feel? Yeah, or
exactly.
is it not? Hope, like I said before, the parents doing a good enough job for the child not to know that anything's different, which it obviously is different.
And it must be hard, and it must be hard for the parents to keep the child entertained. And
because obviously it's only in their best interest that child isn't, socialising as much as it could, or because you're paranoid. There's just so much crap going around. You don't know what to think, do you?
No. It's reflecting back. Actually, there was obviously. The AIDS virus really, really kicked off in the 80s. There was a high number of cases of that, and there was government health warnings in the papers, and I might be making this up. I'm sure there was something
Go
on
away.
there.
Make up away.
There was a lot of documentaries on the TV about it. It was a real big thing, and that put people on edge at the time. If anybody had a nosebleed, don't come, you might have AIDS, you might have. And that's the panic and paranoia that it creates. And now it's they're not as ignorant as they were back then. That people become ignorant when things like that happen. I don't want to catch it. Stay away from him. And like I say, they become really ignorant. But now people are so much aware of it. It's one of the hardest diseases to catch. Yeah. And even if you do get it, there's that much medicine in place. There's a lot of stars that have got it. That are 80s pop stars that got it, and they're still working, carry on. They're perfectly good out. People have lived to old age and died, and it's not. Whereas, example, Freddie Mercury, it finished him off.
And like you say, at the time in the 80s, that was causing the same sort of panic and the same sort of upset.
Definitely.
And people probably saying, how's this going to affect this generation of people then, which I suppose have come out of it.
Yeah.
As normal as you, Mark.
I wouldn't say that. I'm far from normal, mate.
Yeah.
But what is normal? Can you remember that conversation we had when we were walking? What is actually normal? What do you define as normal?
I don't know. I'd like to call myself normal, but then I have conversations with myself out loud sometimes.
I do, mate.
Is that normal? I don't know. Yeah, it's all good.
What was it that Chris said to us on that walk? Something about the spider and the fly. I can't remember it now.
I can't remember either.
What isn't always good for the spider is... I'll look it up.
There you go. We'll have to put it in the comments, Mark.
Yeah, we will.
But talking of comments, we keep saying it every week. I wish
by the way, we're not pervs because we've watched porn in the past. We don't...
And it was all in the past.
Sick. They're sick. They watch porn.
Hey, no. I'm sure there's a few more stories we can't tell.
We were just red-blooded teenagers. That's all we were. Every teenager's been through it.
It's all experience, isn't it? It makes you the person you are today,
Yeah, it does.
Absolute wanker. Excuse me.
Oh dear.
But yeah, like I say, talking about comments, we were asking every week. We do want people to comment. We want comments. I've set up a Instagram. Mazamaran, You'll have to look for Matt Mazza. I can't remember. I can't remember. I'll put it in the comments. But we'll just put a few little extra things. If you want to know about the beer we're drinking, we're going to put it on there. So, you know, so if people want to find us, I will put in our comments in a link. I'll put a link to my Instagram. Just follow me on it and just give us some ideas what you want to hear, what you want to talk about. If there's any, you know, I think that's all.
We're happy for feedback.
Yeah,
it helps us.
Yeah, we have got a couple of guests lined up, which hopefully we'll bring into this
next couple of weeks. You'll see them.
Obviously, things have been a bit weird with all this COVID.
We're still trying to get Cher, but she's not having it.
Yeah, obviously things have been weird with all this COVID crap. So we're just trying to like plus friends and minus friends and divide the bubble by the 6 people that we've got, so we could take away 2 of our family members to make it up to 6.
Yeah,
and then hopefully we can just subtract 5 of them and bring one on. You know what I mean? We don't know. We're getting there, aren't we? We're working it out.
We are trying to work it out.
Very complicated maths, but
yeah.
But you know where we are. Because you're watching, obviously. But yeah,
what a clusterfuck it all is at the minute, innit, really?
We'll just keep talking, Mark, anyway. We'll keep talking. But but Mark and I, we're keen as mustard, and we want to get some really interesting subjects on and stuff that people...
We just want to make it interesting for you guys and feedback. We don't want to depress anybody neither, because
keep it loose, keep it light.
We want to have a laugh. This is the reason why we did this. We want to have a good laugh.
Yeah.
And... you know, we watch other podcasts. We've had a lot of good influences that's influenced us to do this podcast, and but you can certainly watch some of them. It's just so depressing, you know, and we don't want that. The way the times are at the moment, we don't want that, do we?
No. We want to bring a bit of humour to the madness of life. Yeah. We just want to do a proper job.
A proper job, yes.
Yeah, good
proper
one.
job.
But
that would be a proper job, working at a brewery.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Yeah, I know.
I think I'd be a raging alcoholic.
I said this to my wife. I said this to my wife the other day. How good would it be just to own just have a vineyard somewhere in the sun, somewhere in Italy. Just have a little vineyard. Even if the wine was shit, I'd drink any wine. Wine's wine to me. even if nobody wants to buy the wine, I've got a vineyard and I've got a cellar full of wine.
That was another thing. I mean, this is all had a resurgence again. People sort of that's how the real ale things come around. Yeah. People brewing their own beer, and it's kind of took off
because people are that fucking sick of life. They're drinking more, aren't they? I'll tell you what, life is so much better when you can't see it.
One thing I will say about this generation now, in the noughties or whatever we are, century we're in, the beer is far better now than it was in the 80s, because all we had to choose from was Carling Black Label, Stones, what was that other shit that they used to drink? I think that was it. Carling Black Label, Stones, Hofmeister.
Maybe Guinness,
Guinness, Guinness has really improved with age. Yeah. Guinness is great.
But now we've got literally every region of Britain. We've got every region of Europe. We've got every world beer. You can pretty much buy anything in the supermarket, can't you?
Yeah,
flavoured beers, different ciders, you know.
Different gin. I mean, gin's become really trendy again.
Yeah, I don't like gin, personally. No.
I'm not. It's a nice summer drink, just one now and again, but...
I'm a straight male, so I don't drink gin, really.
I'm quite diverse, mate. I'm quite diverse.
Yeah. No qualms for the
but
other side.
I mean, back then there was only like Gordon's, Beefeater, Bombay Sapphire, and that was it. And now you've got... Same with whiskey as well. It was... Whiskey's had a big resurgence.
Tell you, mate, bring White Lightning back. What more do you want? £1 a litre, £2.50 for a 3 litre. You know, you're not waking up after a bottle of that, are you?
No.
It's game over. But yeah, so that's our podcast out the way, Mark. Another week out the way.
Is it time up already?
Yeah, I think we'll call it a day. Unless you want to talk.
I never told that story.
Yeah, come on,
save it for another day. I can't do it, mate. The moment's gone.
It does. We'll bring some more stories up for you.
Yeah.
That was a good
we'll
one.
Bring it up. That was good.
Yeah.
Maybe another day.
Yeah.
I'll bring it up.
Yeah. Like I said, hit us up on Instagram. Leave us some comments. Give us some ideas for some more.
We like
podcasts.
feedback. We like criticism.
Yeah.
Give us criticism.
Yeah, that's what we like.
You know, that's what I'm here for. Call me whatever you like. You know, I don't mind. Everybody else does.
We're there.
Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, peace out, guys.
Happy days. Love you.
Shabbat.